Hello everyone and welcome to the Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Voris. I just got back from a weekend in Chicago spending time with really good and faithful Catholics who just want a little clarity in their lives. They're looking for leadership and reinforcement. So many Catholics today are so wounded, hurt by the never-ending problems that have beset the Church. We're not talking about the homosexual clergy sex abuse problem here. We're talking about a slow trickle of death by 1,000 cuts. You know, the small things that happen in their parishes that give them pause, the things done and not done. They look around and see this or that small abuse at Mass, something left unsaid in a homily, a seemingly insignificant announcement in the bulletin. You get the picture. All these things begin to add up and point to trouble down the road. They reveal a trajectory of where things are heading, and it's troublesome to them, and it should be. Just as no relationship suddenly falls apart out of the blue, there are always warning signs, a disturbance in the force, to borrow a line from Star Wars. There are always small hints that something isn't right. The highly attuned people, the really sensitive types, pick up on these warning signs and they begin to worry. Others blow them off and say, nothing to see here, folks, move along. The good and faithful Catholics today are very worried, and they're looking for leadership and they're looking for answers, for clarity. Why does the bishop allow this or that? Why does the pastor not do something about that crazy religious ed director? How come the liturgy committee is allowed to do this or that to the Mass? In the more extreme cases, but not terribly uncommon, sad to say, why does Sunday Mass look like a Protestant service more than a Catholic sacrifice? Why is Father always preaching things that are so open to interpretation that they can easily be misinterpreted? How about a little clarity? This is the atmosphere that faithful Catholics find themselves in by and large. It's the air we breathe, for the most part. Every time we produce a Vortex episode on some touchy subject, like last week's episodes on contraception, or a couple of weeks back when we did a few on the Pope's warning that very strongly that the sun was setting onto Western civilization, we get buried under emails and letters and phone calls from people saying essentially, at last, finally, someone saying what my priest or bishop will not say. Why is that? Why do so many people from all over the country and the world, for that fact, sit in their parishes Sunday after Sunday and feel uncomfortable with what they sense, which is that something in this relationship just isn't quite right? The reason they feel that way is because they're right. Something in the relationship between some leaders in the church and them isn't quite right. Too many leaders in the church, clerical and lay, are simply too fearful of the power of the gospel. They minimize that power, or try to ignore it anyway, and boil it down to pithy little catchy phrases like, God is love, which is awesome in its truth, but becomes a little else than theological bumper sticker material when religious leaders refuse to elaborate on who God really is and what is meant by authentic love. The sensitive people sitting in the pews, the ones who really get it, are sensing that the church is being transformed into the assembly of the feel-good, that the leaders are content to avoid confrontation and simply sit back and allow the collection plate to speak for itself, to never give offense. That would be fine, except the church of feel-good doesn't prepare you for anything except to be devoured by Satan when he finally unmasks himself and attacks. Stories of priests downplaying the reality of the sacraments, or bishops' advisors putting up roadblocks to increase devotions among the laity. Theological classes emphasizing the least important aspects over the most important. Subtle nuances in homilies. All of these things and many, many more are jeopardizing the eternal lives of millions and millions of souls. So the faithful Catholic crowd wants a little clarity. They want the head scratching to cease. They want the church of feel-good to be ejected from their parishes, and they want their bishops to step up and be leaders every day, in every way, constantly. They don't want a mixed bag. They want constancy. They are the children of God, and they deserve no less. God bless you. I'm Michael Voris.
Please help us keep delivering these kinds of messages that so desperately need to be heard and acted on. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber. Become immersed in the faith established by Jesus Christ. The Catholic Church is the only hope against evil because that is its God-given mission. As our Lord said, apart from me, you can do nothing. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber and come to learn and love Christ more deeply.